Welcome to a gathering of the Mulzer family. Like many large families, the Mulzers like to get together for food, fun, and fellowship. And like large families, there are many names represented here. However, it's not because of marriage the names are different. It's because of employment. Yes, when a person becomes an employee of Mulzer Crushed Stone Incorporated, they become a member of the family. Mulzer Crushed Stone Incorporated and its affiliates began in 1935 and now serve millions of people every day by delivering thousands of tons of crushed stone products throughout the Ohio River Valley, Pennsylvania, and West Virginia. But like every business, it began simply. How simply? Well, to break any business down to its simplest form, you merely consider it as a solution to a specific need. In 1935, there was a need for people to build culverts along new and upgraded roads in Indiana. Three brothers from Spencer County, Arnold, Roland, and Edgar Mulzer, stepped up and offered a solution to this need.
And the brothers, of course, had gone into the coal mines because we had some equipment, bulldozers, cranes, and they converted a crane to a shovel, and were mining coal. And coal was a pretty high priority at that time because the diesel engines had not hit the track yet. They were all steam boilers. So priority was there, and they did a lot of good work during the war. After the war, it sort of slacked off, and having been in the construction business, we knew aggregate. We knew how far we had to haul it sometimes to get good aggregate. We had river gravel, we had plenty of sand, but we didn't have good sound aggregate, so we got to looking for crushed stone. Where could we find crushed stone? Paul Moosemiller. He was a state highway materials inspector. He was also a geologist. And talked with Paul, and Paul, we wanted the nearest, the earliest limestone. We knew there was a lot of it east of here, north of here, but none of it west of here. So we asked him for the nearest west location that we could find, and he recommended the area at Eckerty in Crawford County. So we drilled and shot off a little, tested it. It was good limestone, so we built a quarry. That was in 1948. These guys, on this picture, they're hard workers. They were good, hard workers, honest people, and they'd put in a day's work, whether you were there or not. And I'm proud of them.
They were good friends too. It wasn't just an employer-employee relationship. One of them ended up being your brother-in-law. Another one ended up working in our office, and I was in his wedding when he got married. So it's a personal relationship that we've had for a long, long time with our employees.
I think it goes back to when the coal mine, and then whenever Eckerty Quarry started, there was Dad and Edgar and Uncle Roland, and they each had a job, and it was in the quarry with these men. And so it wasn't just these men working for them, it was these men working with them as much as working for them. And so there became a real personal connection with all of them because you saw them and worked with them a full shift every day.
You're sitting there among a group of hardworking, committed individuals, and the second and the third generation has been afforded that same luxury. We too have a lot of support that makes this company what it is. I mean, we have leadership capacity here, but by the same token, it's the people out there doing the grunt work and managing the day-to-day operations are what makes this company strong. Our success has been in providing low-cost aggregates to the consuming public. And everyone is the consuming public. The average person uses around 11 tons of stone per year. Now, you don't think you're using 11 tons, but on your behalf, whether it's in a parking lot for Walmart or a highway resurface job, whatever, or even your house or your office. Limestone, sand, gravel, it's in everything. I think a turning point in the company probably was when we really became committed on the river for river transportation by building our Cape Sandy quarry, and almost concurrently buying a sand and gravel source from the Bedford Nugent Company, but that also afforded us multiple distribution points. At that point in time, we only had Newburgh on the east side of Evansville and had started Dogtown on the west side of Evansville. And when we bought the sand and gravel companies, that opened us up here in Tell City on a broader scale. We got the Rockport yard, the Henderson yard, the Evansville yard, and we opened the Mount Vernon yard. So that gave us multiple locations all along the river. And that river commitment, plus having a full service sand, gravel, and crushed stone, I think was a turning point. And also, at the same time, the federal government was working on the infrastructure for the United States, i.e. the locks and dams and the interstate system. So along with our increased ability to supply, we also had a ready-made market for it also.
All this younger generation, and myself and Kent too, when we came to work at the company, we didn't get a job in the office, sitting behind a desk. We were put out there in the field. I know I got out of the Army in '65. Well, first, the day after I got out of the Army, they put me in a truck and sent me to Milwaukee to get a jaw crusher repaired. So started from there and went to Derby and worked in the Derby quarry for about a year and a half, and then got moved up to Cape Sandy. The quarry superintendent up there had broken his foot, and they want somebody to assist him a little bit, mainly run the boat, because he was running the quarry and operating the boat at the same time. So they moved me up to Cape Sandy then, and I ran the boat up there for about a year and a half. It started out to take care of while his foot was repairing, and then never did get off of it for a long time. But and these others, they've all started out the same way, whether it was in a welding shop at Rockport or out in the concrete plant driving a mixer, up at the quarry learning how to crush rock. They all started out working with the men that are working for them now. And I think that they've all gained some of the respect of these men, because these people working for us know that these younger ones will work with them the same as the rest of us have done.
And I remember as a little kid coming to work with him on Saturday mornings, and he would go to the office and do his office work on Saturday morning to catch up, and when it was time to go one morning, time to go home, I went over and sat in his office and I said, "Dad, when I get old enough to work for this company, I'm not going to sit in any office. I'm going to be driving a truck." And lo and behold, as soon as I graduated from college, what was my first job? Driving a truck.
A lot of times people come up to me and they say, "Boy, how do you guys put up with all the worries and responsibilities that you have?" And every time I get that question, I pretty well answer it the same way. It's pretty easy whenever you have the dedicated people that we have that, you know, go the extra mile, do the job that needs to be done. So I've been working here for 15 years now, and I'm still learning from our guys every day.
To take on this type of work, it takes a lot of good people to carry this company forward, and I really feel like the company's been blessed with a lot of good people.
There's obviously been good leadership through the generations, because the company isn't what it started off being, and there's been a willingness to adapt and change and address issues that come up, and it's fairly evident in some of our meetings, because we still have issues to address us, and we look back at the company and we weren't there through the beginning, so it looks like it was all just set up and it all worked great and everything just happened, and we'll have an issue come up and we'll be discussing it, and Dad or Kenneth will eventually tell us, "Well, we had a similar issue 20 years ago or 30 years ago, and this is how we dealt with it then." And so there's an awareness that it's not happened by chance. There was good leadership from the owners to change the company when it needed to change and resolve issues when they came up. And it makes you feel a little bit more comfortable that you're not necessarily reinventing the wheel.
You'll see standalone machine shops, you see companies that do nothing but barge transport and fleeting services, you see companies do nothing but trucking, you see companies do nothing but quarries, I see companies that do nothing but the sand and gravel. We've incorporated those all into one business model where they all mesh together, but any one of them could be a separate business on a standalone basis, and all of them are areas for future growth.
It's a growing company, any way you look at it from beginning to end. And service was always the emphasis.